Welcome, it's SVPod. Stanford Steve is here. Red is here. I am here. It's beautiful, finally, in our neighborhood. Although, perhaps short-lived.
No. Come on.
GFS Yuki. King Euro. Although, is it King GFS now? That's another. It could be one last blast. Whatever. We're going to enjoy right now because it's going to be 80. And the snow piles are almost gone. But in that little come on from the big man, you might have heard it. I heard it the first thing he said. Somebody's sick.
No. Temperature change. Happens every year.
So you're not sick. You just have.
I don't get sick.
I got sick last week. Had a fever. First time I had a fever in I don't know how long.
Yeah.
Like a one-day virus. Down for the count.
No. What was it? Just being outside, coming back. It's like 80. It was 80 yesterday. 76.
So because of that, you sound like you're having...
Well, when it goes from 30 to 76, yeah. I'm good.
Okay, then good. If he's good, I'm great.
I thought I woke up in California today.
Hell yeah.
That sun is a beautiful thing.
We took Red out for a walk, and it was...
What is that thing in the sky?
Just what is that warmth, that feeling, right?
Yeah.
All right. So, and I got to say this. Hot take right out of the gate. You all ready or not ready? I'm saying right now, today is as ripe a podcast topic field as you're going to ever have. Today. Not next week with the bracket, because all that's still in front of us. Free agency starting in hours. Tatum's back. World Baseball Classic. Pucks. And all directions. Stuff.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, my problem is all I have is college basketball and World Baseball Classic, for sure.
Buddy,
Tatum, cool.
That's significant. It's on the card. But I got to tell you, I watched an astounding amount of college basketball.
It's ridiculous.
Astounding.
Yeah.
Amounts of college basketball in the last, 48 hours just to kind of get myself ready. But look, the free agency thing is about to hit in the National Football League. You already news this morning. I mean, everybody knew it was coming, but
what?
Well, Tua, Miami's like, we're all set here.
Okay.
Does you think, shout to Ali G, does you think that Tua becomes the cautionary tale for GMs, owners, with that guy at the position that you don't know he's a guy, but you pay him like he's one? Is he the person that will allow common sense to reign in NFL front offices? I see you pausing because the answer is no. People are just going to do it. They're going to pay him no matter what.
Well, I'm thinking on the other side with Sam Darnold.
There you go.
Right?
Sure, you're Minnesota. He wins 14 games. You're like, nah, we're good. Are you?
Because, what was it? Tua, Herbert, and Burrow are in the same draft.
Mm-hmm.
And then Sam's with Baker and the others. But just both ends of the spectrum. Yeah. Good luck to the old NFL people. I'll be tapping out of social media NFL wise.
It's interesting. I like it. I'm into it. I'm into it.
But nobody knows. It's like you hate draft grades.
I do.
You know? So it's going to be Chiefs trade, what's his name, to the Rams.
McDuffie.
Who won the trade? Who won?
Well, the Rams people just put out the Snead gift for fuck them draft picks.
That's it.
They don't care.
That's it. People just want to do that.
I'm asking you about Tua. I think that's interesting. I think the quarterback position is fascinating. I'm looking at the 21 draft class where you had Lawrence, Wilson, Trey Lance. That happened.
Mm-hmm.
An NFL team's like, yeah, let's take that guy.
And they got rid of him.
Of course they did.
Got crushed for that.
Well, and Zach Wilson, they got rid of him. Justin Fields has been traded several times. Mac Jones not on the same team. I'm talking about a team that takes a guy that invests draft capital, that sees maybe he's a guy, and that whole Tua Hive thing, the fans, Dolphin fans that came at you if you dared say that he wasn't what he isn't. And now he's done. And it's like they have like $100 million in dead cap money. So if you're a front office, but like if you're the GM that took him, sure you're going to give him the money because if he's not any good, you're going to get fired anyway.
He gone.
I'm gone. He's gone. Fuck it. The owner can eat this money. I just think it's kind of wild. But you're not interested? That's fine. World Baseball Classic, you're in?
Oh, yeah.
All right, we'll get to that.
That was great.
I've seen some amazing walk-off moments.
Oh, the Puerto Rico scene is incredible.
That's incredible.
Japan?
Yes. Dominicano.
See the umps, go check out that dugout.
Check the dugout.
Grand slam. Off 1 foot. The great thing, though, about it is like Vance Worley came in the other night for Great Britain. Hasn't pitched in like 8 years.
It's fine.
Was on the Phillies team that had Cliff Lee and Roy Halladay and Cole Hamels and didn't win anything. But he was on that team. And it's just out there chucking splitters, fastballs, nipping the plate, painting corners, just gutting it out because the guy loves ball. And he's facing Judge and Schwarber. I just think it's great. I said it for since the rosters came out. Being able to root for Aaron Judge and Kyle Schwarber and Bryce Harper is awesome. Awesome. And I really like the lineup. And then get to learn some of these new arms. This guy Jax from the Rays, he could bring it. Scooble, I guess that's it. He's done, right?
Believe so. I believe he said, "I'll give you the one," and then we're
thanks. What's he going to prep for the Twins?
I mean, get ready for that. Get ready.
2 weeks.
Oh, gotta. God, I'm drawing a blanket on our summer league baseball coach. God bless his. I mean, I don't even know. I hope he's still with us.
How many years?
Been a long time.
Like Legion? Like 15, 16 years old?
And he'd give me the looten up your arm, Van. Wasn't loosen. It was like looting. Looten up your arm, man. Like,
or lube.
I don't know what it was, but I'm like, Bud, I got mid-70s max. It is going to be some pus that I'm dealing. Looten up your arm, man. God bless.
Can you remember when you first pitched like Legion? Legion goes up to what, 18?
Hold on. Yeah, but I'm trying to remember.
I got called to play. I was like 15. I was like, these guys are going to hit the ball all over the place.
I got to remember this man's name.
A catcher said, I don't have a cup on, so don't throw curveballs in the dirt. I'm like, well, I got nothing here, buddy. Curveballs are coming. North Haven. Oof. Good squad.
I'm just trying to remember now because Steve, when you get elderly like me, you just get to that place where you start thinking, do I just not remember stuff or do I have dementia? Not fun. I think I just have too much information in my brain, especially on this particular podcast day.
You know what it is? It's like a quarterback in the secondary facing different coverages. You got to layer it. You got to layer your years. You got to go back all the time. We always talk about what's that first Super Bowl you remember?
That's easy.
Who was in that Final Four in '84?
Well, you're the most amazing person I know about that.
Just re-rack it. It helps.
I can't remember the name of the coach that said, "Looten up your arm, man." All right, coach. Only takes about 2 or 3. It's not like I'm mad. What's the Fairfield closer's nickname?
Dirty Harry?
Yeah, it's not like I'm Dirty Harry with 94 plus arm.
Tough loss Friday.
Ooh, I'm sorry about that.
Up in RPI. Looked like it was 5 degrees. That's the other thing. As good as this is, I'm watching my nephew. Vermont's playing UMass and Lax Saturday morning. Snowbanks all over Amherst. Around the field, they're doing construction. Guys out there gutting it out.
Out by Groton?
Not even close. Closer to Buffalo than it is Groton.
Oh. Hey, by the way, Make Your Fouls shirts are coming.
Shout out from Fleming and Farnham last night on the first game of WCC.
Make Your Fouls?
Yep. Oregon State did.
Late Santa Clara didn't. Pacific
Yeah.
got there.
Got a couple texts. It was right on the number for so long.
Right. No, I mean, that's not a bad beat
But
as much. If
the point is, T-shirts coming.
Make your fouls.
Scatino.
Got to make your fouls. Thanks to the people out there apparently on the gram. You guys are following. That's big. I'm not in that space, but that's anything you guys do that's consuming the content. We're grateful. I feel like this has been a very unfocused opening. It's just because there's that much stuff.
Yeah.
I'm taking little bites of everything from the buffet right now. But can we just dive into some college hoops?
Oh, God. Which day?
I mean, that's a great point.
They're all run together.
They are. I just have a lot of notes about who and what.
Yeah.
Can I just tell you what's happened again? I sent Florida coach a note. I'm like, congrats on the Final Four. Wife spoke it into existence. She just started booking hotels. Did it again. She decided they're going. Last year, spoke it into existence. You rewind the tape on that, like, they were lucky to survive UConn.
Oh.
The Texas Tech's an all-timer, because what did Texas Tech not have? The T-shirt they needed. Make your fouls. They didn't. But Florida not only got there, beat Auburn, beat Houston, national champs. Well, wifey's booked it. Flights, hotels, Indy, the whole schmear.
Not you.
Pardon?
You're not included.
Well, there's a little golf tournament I got to get to. I think I'd be allowed to get to the Saturday piece.
Yeah, that's the best part.
Agreed. So apparently I'm headed to Indy because
there we go.
She's spoken into existence. I watched them go to Kentucky the other day in a game. Last week we talked Kentucky. Could they go on a run?
That went over well.
Didn't go over well, and then they went out and got beat badly and by A&M, I believe it was.
Yeah.
And then really didn't ever compete with Florida. Late, got fake close late.
Florida took the foot off the gas. Watch out.
Missed a couple fouls. Opened the back door. But how about that? I mean, Kentucky's catching a decent number at home from a Florida team that is a wrecking ball. And Dick Vitale said it, like, for this much cash, and Kentucky's had some injuries, but whatever you paid, it wasn't for this. Wasn't for this. So I stand by what I said. It wouldn't shock me if the draw comes out right and they won a couple of games. But Vitale's not wrong, and anyone that from Big Blue Nation's not wrong to go, like, we paid that for this. But that's the Kentucky thing is a topic that isn't as interesting to me as just the Florida piece. Like, they're that. They've been that, and they are that. And that is a team that is as good as anyone in the country. Right there with Arizona, right there with Michigan, right there with Duke. Those and UConn fans, not us. No, not you. Not you. I would never want to play you because I like Hurley, even though he makes it hard. You know, makes it hard. I know there's a good human in there, but that good human is at odds with that little. You want to call it the devil and the angel, or you just want to call it good Hurley, bad Hurley. But whatever they shot from three the other day in that loss to Marquette, which was bad, like, that raises its head on occasion. The bad defense at home against Creighton raises its head on occasion. Yeah, they went
3-24.
That was the number.
Yep.
That's a one-off. They're not going to shoot that bad again, and they still had a chance to win. But I'm saying for me, no, it's not you on the one line. It's Florida. That's how I see it right now.
Yeah, for sure. I will say this, and he had the whole spiel about he's not playing in those invitationals anymore, like the Maui where he had the disaster. But this year, I mean, you go through it, it's Arizona, Florida, BYU, ton of the big boys in the out-of-conference, which is great. And they do get Florida early in the year. That should carry weight. It did. But now when you look at the Big East in its totality,
not a good
compared
lead
to this run that Florida's on, that the argument's gone. Now, Can you come back and win your Big East tournament and position yourself amongst the 2 seeds? Yeah. But the way Florida and those top 4 teams are looking, I think those are set.
Yeah, I mean, it is in my mind, in your mind, but we never know how much weight this last week has.
That's it.
The committee has demonstrated through the years, sometimes not a whole lot.
Correct.
So you got to wonder, especially in a league like the Big East, where how much juice can you really get out of who you beat?
Yeah. No, that's what I'm saying. You lost your tier. I'm looking at the 2 seeds because you could possibly even fall further amongst the 2s.
I feel like there's been some backslide.
You see a line?
Some backslide among those.
Yeah.
I mean, a couple weeks ago, Purdue was on that too. We had our concerns. They went out and lost again. Again. That senior group that we talked about. And that list that I talked about losing in Mackey. Add another name on senior day for that group that has been together. Because what was your concern about them? They couldn't get what?
Connected.
Which also shows itself on the defensive end, can't get stops.
Oh, yeah.
I think that might be a shirt. You got to get a stop. Shout out to Sheehan. We might have to give him royalties. They couldn't get a stop. And Wisconsin, I know people on your list, and it's your list, which, by the way, hasn't changed, right? List is still the list. People, Wisconsin. Look at their road wins.
Right.
Look at their road wins. Beat Michigan in Ann Arbor. Beat Illinois in the Champaign Room. Beat Purdue on senior day in Mackey. Like, that's a murderer's row in the Big Ten. Beat them all. And that was without Winter.
Yeah.
Who I love. Really talented big guy for them.
It scared me away. I woke up and saw that line, 9.5. I'm like, Wisconsin, my Badgers. Just took Purdue off. I'm like, oh, this is it. Senior day, the whole deal, no Winter. And then I'm like, still like the guards. I mean, that's it right there. Boyd, some of those shots he made are preposterous.
They shot the shit out of the ball. And Boyd's that guy that, you know, in the portal, there's shooting guards like that. And like that, I mean, like guys that can get you 20 plus. I feel like there's 100 guys that are capable scorers because the game is elevated. I feel like there are more guys like that. But guys like that come in and does it work? I feel like it's a total hit or miss.
Mm-hmm.
You just don't know. Does it translate? And Boyd's been excellent for them.
No doubt.
Because they already had some established people, but they also lost a couple of guards last year. There was room clearly for people to elevate, and he has. And you know what I love about him? He's the opposite of afraid.
Oh.
His light in his mind is as green as the light can get.
Hmm.
You got it. You're right after my heart. Let it rip, baby. So that's a story. That's a tale of two stories there. That's why you like Wisconsin, and it's why Purdue falls off the list.
Yeah,
man, I can't believe that's how that season went, regular season for them. And there's still time to rewrite. The rest is still unwritten.
It's the best part of this week.
Feel the rain on your face. No one else can feel it for you. That was like the Bad Music Friday.
Great song.
As much as I loved Bad Music Friday, no one hated him more than Russillo. I'm like, hey, Ryan, we're going to start today with Celine Dion. That's the way it is. And I'm going to be in a great mood for 3 hours, and you're going to be seething. What's the lady's name that sings that song?
Natasha. Yeah,
Bedingfield. Unwritten.
Beautiful.
It really is. You feel good.
True.
It's every bit of it. No one can speak the words on your lips. Drench yourself in words unspoken. Live your life with arms wide open. Today is where your book begins. Wait, imagine it. Today is where your book begins. The rest is still unwritten. We'll be right back. Let's get Boomer. to do a mashup.
We got a Super Bowl coming.
Hey.
Plenty of reads to do.
Hey.
Here's Boomer.
Feel the rain on your skin. I'll stop. Because if I don't stop, it's going to be the whole fucking song. Oh, because I will beat a bit into the ground. Yeah, that was, what day was that? Was that Sunday or Saturday?
Who?
Purdue. That was Saturday.
Saturday.
God, there was so much going Saturday.
Yeah, I had to prioritize. I went, is it conference tournament or is it not? If it's not, side
really?
TV. Yeah.
So that means you missed Arkansas without a cuff going into Columbia and winning that one? Did you see any of that game?
No, we had games.
Like, it's a hell of a win.
Yeah, I expect that.
I sent a tweet out.
Oh, boy.
Well, I was watching games with the boys. And at some point, I asked the world, like, what's the over-under on the number of questions your kids ask you in a day? Because for the hours that we were watching games, the number of times that, Dad? Question mark. Who did Missouri lose to? They have 10 losses.
Which time?
They have 10 losses. I don't know. What was the score? If they win, will they be ranked? Dad. Yes. If they win, will they rush the court? I don't know. What do you think? Dad. Why isn't Acuff playing? Dad. And it's like, there's a joy in it because I just am thinking at some point, what's the line from Ted Lasso? Be curious. No one's more curious than my kids. Although from what the responses came from your kids out there in the world, maybe your kids are more curious. But there's an insatiable curiosity that just kept showing itself. And I like said to my son, if you have a question, A, you don't have to say my name with a question mark after it. And then you don't have to say either I have a question or can I ask a question. Just say the question. We could never get to that point. Dad.
Pause. Sometimes there's like three more dads too.
For sure.
And they get louder and louder.
And as many people pointed out, there will be a point where there is no more of that and you will long for it. I am certain that is true. I am also certain that at some point on Saturday, I reached the maximum level of appreciation for the questions that were being asked of me because, as I said, finally, I'm not Alexa. I don't know who Missouri lost to. It's easy. Michigan, I can tell you. It's only happened a couple of times. It's really simple to tell you Michigan. When you start getting up to more than 2 or 3, 4, 5, it's a lot of games. Anyway.
Go to Siri or Alexa. They'll tell you.
But you want your kids to feel like you're a vast reservoir of knowledge. But I said to them, fellas, I'm kind of like the reflecting pool down by the monument. I'm like, I'm a mile wide and an inch deep. I know a lot about a little, I know a little about a lot. Or a lot about a little. I'm pretty narrow. It's mostly sports. Anyway.
I think it's a little about a lot.
I think that's it. That noon window, by the way, is where the Arkansas-Missouri game. No A-cuff, but
correct.
They hit big shots. Malik Thomas had a ton. How many did he have? 28? He hit big buckets, man. That's a game Missouri could have used because they were part of that bubble group that every single team lost games.
So that was the noon window, and your patience was already tested.
No, but it wasn't tested as much as it. I was amazed at the nonstop Tommy gun style of questions that just it didn't ever cease. Ever. Not frustrated. Not patience wasn't lost. Just more amazed.
Who do the boys think could beat Florida? No one. Are they more confident this year than last year?
They know now that it's possible that they get to go. So now I think they're trying to speak it into existence too.
Yeah.
I mean, that's pretty good. That's a pretty fun team to root for if you're little kids, is them.
Oh.
Pretty fun team.
Kidding.
I feel like I've just been jeopardizing conversation. What teams interest you? What games interest you? Because I have a never-ending supply of stuff here.
Well, to your point, I was just going to say I am completely worthless the next couple of weeks if it's not college basketball, because that's all it is. Men's, women's. Try and explain to your 12-year-old that the season's not over after LSU women lost to South Carolina 19 straight times. And I kept telling her, in the midst of that, they won a national championship. Stop pouting.
It's fine.
Be all right. Wait for the team to come on the bracket. Obviously, the Duke Carolina thing, that sounds weary. What it's turned into with Foster and Gongba coming out. Wait to see that news. I mean,
if I'm Duke, I just this week means nothing. I'm a 1. Who cares? Don't play.
There it is. I saw they're minus 350 to win the ACC tournament.
Don't play. Don't care.
The late window Saturday night was just mesmerizing to watch. Whether it was BYU coming back against Texas Tech, Arizona in a dogfight against Tad
Dak
balling, and then that WCC window. I will admit I watched every second of the WCC tournament so far this week.
Shout to Fleming Farnham.
Oh, they just got there. Roxy Bernstein and Dan Dickow were holding court since Friday night.
My bad, Roxy and Dan. I don't want to.
They know.
Yeah, but I want to give the proper attention to. I was watching Pacific and Santa Clara. Put him in. Sendex guys, ball goes in the basket. Would they have like 8 threes in the first 5 minutes last night?
They had 71 points with 8 minutes left in the game. And I'm like, all right, point made. And it just kind of got ugly, but a lot of pressure. A lot of pressure on that.
Put them in.
Yeah.
They did what no one else in the bubble did. They did what no one else could do. And I mean no one.
0-9. Saturday.
That's bubble teams. Cincinnati, Virginia Tech, New Mexico, Indiana, Missouri, SMU, NC State, Auburn, USC, Texas. L's, line them up. And that's after UCF and the Hall lost on Friday.
Yeah.
Bubble teams.
No, we didn't lose Friday.
Miami O. What a ball game.
Had the in-laws in town and, father-in-law, diehard UConn both ways. Huge fan. And I was like, have you had a chance to watch Miami University of Ohio, the Red Hawks? Honor and, what is it now? Honor and love? Love and honor? Boy, are they mad when you don't say your name right. Like, come on, guys. Enjoy this ride.
I still say Miami O. I know I'm not supposed to. That's my bad.
Enjoy it. But, so we put it on, and, I mean, the rate at which the ball went in the basket was unbelievable. And in that, knowing the mentality or state of mind or angst people in the state of Ohio can have, when an undefeated team in your conference comes in, you're going to get the best of the best on the road. And you saw Travis Steele and the staff pointing to people like they had people thrown out. It got that bad.
It was clearly ugly. And let's start at the end and work backwards, because when Miami O survives the shots, was it Pavletsky that had the – first of all, my man, and I don't know if they were Air Force Ones, but you know the word. If you saw a dude in black Air Force Ones, like – I was not a man to mess with.
Seeing Illinois in person, they got a couple of guys that wear them too. I believe those are Sabrina Ionescu's.
Whatever my man was wearing, number 13 for Ohio, was a bucket.
Black sneakers, white socks. Tough look, though.
And he had a ball game, and the ball was in the air late, and I thought, he's going to do that hard side angle bank shot's going to go in. Feels like those skinny banks go in a lot. It didn't, and they lose. And Miami O, they went at the fans. And that became its own talking point. Mm-hmm. Shouldn't you win with more class? And it's like, I'm going to go ahead and put myself in the shoes of the young man in the red that walked into Athens. It was about to be right there on par with Halloween night in Athens. If you know, you know. Mm-hmm. They were about to really be on one if that bucket went in, and it didn't. But they went at the crowd, and people had something to say about that. I'm going to guess they went at that crowd because for 2.5, 3 hours, that crowd went at them.
Oh.
With gusto.
Venom
and gusto. That's a potent combo.
Yeah.
And so I don't have it in me to look down my nose at those youngsters from Miami University for their enthusiasm for flipping the bird and going at those fans, because they didn't do it for no reason. But let's move past that. You're right. The ball went in the bucket for 3 hours.
Oh, it was unbelievable.
High-level shot making. Not a lot of defense.
No.
But that's kind of been the Red Hawks storyline this year. You're going to get buckets, but they're going to get one more. And they're 31-0, and they're in the tournament. The end. The end.
Yeah, the way they went at the crowd, like, they're not ripping their jerseys off and throwing them in the crowd. They're waving to them.
There were some very hearty FUs.
To your point, not as many as they took for 3 hours. But
the ball was tipped at the line of scrimmage. There's no foul on the play.
And there's a sequence where they show the sideline and Travis Steele is staring at the court. His point has already been made. And you see the score table, the assistants coming over, and they're pointing in the direction right behind him. And he was not going to get enthralled in what was going to happen. But to my knowledge and what I saw, there was a group that was going to be removed from the building because of over the course of that 2-3 hours, it just went over the line.
Venom and gusto.
And being at a game yesterday, it got close where the youngsters were starting to say some things to the refs and other players, but Maryland fans and students kept their poise. But anyway, the Miami story is awesome. That game, they knew they've had I don't think they won there in a long time. Ohio U played great at Miami earlier in the year. Watch that one. But to be able to stamp this one 31-0, I think is really cool. And seeing people still take this thing, I don't get it. And I will say, I saw somebody make the point where I've made the point where the AP poll is the most worthless thing in college basketball. But we've had a team ranked there now for the majority of the season. They've only moved up a couple spots, but they never fell out. And you know what else happened? They never lost. So why we are debating a team that is undefeated, ranked the majority of the season, I'll never know. But shout out to them again. It's been awesome. They're not even favored to win their conference tournament.
No, that's Akron.
And I don't have a problem with that, because if you watch Akron, they are bludgeoning people. And on top of that, I think it would be awesome if those two teams got in the NCAA tournament, because I'm going through the list now and looking at these teams that clinched this week. We got, I got stuff on all of them. And I wanted to ask you, when we growing up, it was just like, all right, the Atlantic Sun's on Tuesday night. Nice story. They get to be on ESPN 1. But you're going through it, whether it's the Summit League, the Atlantic Sun with Queens going the first time, High Point in the Big South, Tennessee State and Nolan Smith winning the OVC, UNI winning Arch Madness, first team ever, 4 straight days, 4 wins, and such a real – I mean, that league has won games. These teams are way more formidable than back in – as we were growing up, where you're watching like cool stories. These teams could score.
Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, look, UNI, and I was watching that game because Coach Eson from UIC is a guy that I know from back in his days with Maryland, Gary Williams, and UIC they did an amazing job to get there, but UNI made shots, man. They just made bucket after bucket, and that's the best they played. They had some injuries this year. I'm thinking, how is this team a 6? They were the 6th seed in that league.
Good league. It
was better than the #ball knower. Better than people would know if you're just sort of parachuting in. But you and I just shot the ball really, really well. Too good for the Flames of UIC to survive. But I'm with you. The games that I watch, you do see some formidable play. And I mean, if you've watched Akron If you've watched Miami O, you're going to have to guard them because they're going to score. That's always my biggest concern in tournament games. Big venues, longer timeouts. A lot of times because, say you're in a city that's far away, maybe there's not an incredible atmosphere. It's on you to create your own juice. Can you make buckets? Akron and Miami can and will. Mm-hmm. And some of these other teams that you're mentioning that you're watching can and will also.
I mean, you're scoring 90 in a conference tournament championship. You're doing something. That's Queens did that. It was overtime. I get it. High Point did it. Tennessee State did it. So when I'm watching it go, and I get it, the defense and the length and the strength at the Power Five, but that's what makes the tournament great is the matchup. What's going to prevail? Also, these teams have way more time to get themselves right. Like you're looking at Georgia Southern tonight, who is attempting to play 6 times in 6 days and win a conference championship because of the way their bracket is. But there's a lot more rest on the back end. And what they've done there is as fun a team as I've watched. Now, they're up against it tonight, obviously playing the 1 seed in their tournament. But it's so much fun knowing, and you see the immediacy of these games because they know this is the only way in the tournament. And that's what makes it great. And it started this weekend, and it's going to go all the way through this week.
Yeah, there's a line that I've said often that I think reveals itself as plainly and obviously this week as any other time in sports, which is you cannot fake desperation. And for teams like Northern Iowa, there's one path into the tournament.
Yeah.
And it's beat the team in front of you today. UIC knew the same thing. For Georgia Southern, right? How much gas is in the tank? I don't know. Because there's two energies that are required. There's the physical, but then there's the mental.
Yeah.
And you run out of either one and you're toast. Toast. And there's a conversation. I'm curious where you land on this. Let's say this hurts. Say you're Navy.
Oh.
And you basically don't lose a game in the calendar year. And you got a bunch of guys that have been there for 5 years because you don't deal with guys that are going to probably leave for NIL and whatever else. You got midshipmen. The best of us, the men and women in Annapolis and West Point and Colorado Springs Air Force. I don't want to forget a service academy. And you haven't lost, and you're the one. And then the clock starts a couple dribbles late, and BU hits a dribble inside a half-court 3 to beat you at the buzzer, and you're done. There's a case to be made that the team that's demonstrated over the balance of a conference schedule that they should be in the tournament. Mm-hmm. What do you think of that?
It's getting to the point. Gino Oriama went on a long rant this weekend in the midst, or maybe the day before he left for Mohegan to go down to the Big East Women's Tournament. Like the idea that a 12 and 15 team that wins a conference tournament gets in the NCAA tournament is just beside the point. And I get it. The body of work, it drives me. And I like the regular season idea getting in. How you weigh what the conference tournament does, if there's a different champion, I don't know. But to your point, Navy had an all-time season. I want to say they haven't been in the NCAA tournament since David Robinson. That's like 88, 87. And they won that conference, Jack. Can you pull up the Patriot League standings? They won this conference by like 6 games.
John Perry's group was unreal. I don't know that they might have lost 1 game since January.
Yeah, and it was a couple of weeks ago.
And they lose at the buzzer on a 3 that BU hits in their gym where the clock starts late.
17-1. Next was Lehigh, who's playing tonight in the title.
That's Wednesday night.
Against
and look, credit to
Lehigh gets a home game now. 7 conference losses. I do like that idea. The higher seed gets the home. When you're in these smaller, that doesn't go to a venue to play.
Dad, why is this team 17 and 16 and they're playing on their home court? Dad, if they win, are they in the tournament even though they're 500? Dad, I'm crushed for for Navy. I love what conference tournament play is, though. And as I'm talking out of both sides of my mouth and saying this, that like the Navy story makes me feel like they showed they should be the team.
Yeah.
But what BU did shows what March is. They went into their gym. They hung around for 39 minutes and 58 seconds, and they made a shot. And that is the fine line. That's the differentiator this time of the year.
Yeah.
And that right there.
And that's a league that has had success in the NCAA tournament. When you go back, who do you want to talk about? You know, whether it's, CJ McCollum and Lehigh, Colgate's had success. Bucknell's won games. Holy Cross way back in the day, dude. Dude, Worcester.
Dude, Willard.
No, but this goes also back to Ben Jacobson at UNI. Is that guy's been there 20 years. For the last 12, any job in the Midwest, it's like you got to go get Ben Jacobson, whether it's Iowa, Nebraska, I think Creighton before McDermott got there. I think he's been there longer. But to your point, that's a guy that's been at the same place, that school, and knowing we're getting one from this conference 20 years. They haven't been in a tournament in 16. Like I was in Vegas in a sports book when Farouk Manish made the shot to beat Kansas. All-time sportsbook moment ever.
Oh,
and that was insane of that happening. And I'm thinking, I'm like, good program. They're in, I go, they've had to play in that conference championship game 5 times. But knowing, to your point, losing games during the regular season, and it's magnifying. Like we have to be at our best now in the conference tournament. And then going out and doing it and being the first team in that league, a really good league, to do 4 in 4 days is really cool. But you talk to people in that league, they're always wary of UNI. So that road and that story, that's awesome. That's a big time fan base too for that league. And watch out. It's he knows how to do it. I'll say that. 20 years at a school like that.
Well, if they shoot it like they did on Sunday, then you're gonna buckle up for 40 because they could beat you because they're going to guard you.
But Navy knew that too,
without question. But
I
was just thinking about, but that's a pressure that if you're the top seed, only you are carrying with you. And there's a freedom to be Georgia Southern. There's a freedom to be any of these teams that you see free. Northern Iowa was a 6.
Yep.
I think UIC was the 5, actually. Because they were wearing light jerseys, so they had to be a higher seed.
And they played the 9 Drake, who beat the 1 Belmont. That's when it opened Friday afternoon.
For sure, Drake shot the crap out of the ball.
He scored 100.
I mean, and Belmont could score it, but Drake just had the shooting half of literally the first half. They shot it in the first half like I didn't know they could. You run into a red-hot team, and that clock starts ticking loud in your ears, man. And the longer that I'm watching Navy, I'm like, you better get that 4-point lead, get to 5. They miss 1. Now they got to start, make your fouls, blah, blah, blah. It just never happened.
Also, that scenario where you let them get a free reign running start, step in, shoot a 3, foul through the whole thing, you got to stop ball. It's amazing how many of those you go through all the March Madness, just game wreckers, buzzer beaters, whatever you want to call them. It depends on which side you're on. You don't stop ball or make the guy that first catches it take a couple. Don't let him get momentum. And I thought Navy did a great job of getting down the court to get their hoop, but no resistance. And those guys make those shots, man. I mean, you walk into a gym, you got range as soon as you walk in the gym. You can make that shot easily.
I try to explain to people, like I always say, it's not a hard shot because it's just get your steps and your momentum and just getting the thing online. That was barely touching that though.
Oh, it was.
And I want to get the name of the who hit that bucket for BU, Gladden.
Chance. What a chance.
They took a chance. Yeah. We'll be right back.
Also, it's still ongoing, but at that point, guy up the road, Pat Scarry at Towson, has been the 1 seed in that tournament. He's made runs as a lower seed, still can't get to the NCAA tournament. College of Charleston, he takes out yesterday, and then Wilmington loses, who was the 1 seed, loses to Campbell. That conference is a free-for-all.
Well, Towson won by 100.
Yeah, and so Campbell put it on Wilmington. And those were 2. Chris Max at Charleston. Wilmington's had an unbelievable season, regular season champs. So what'd Stewart say? Get in where you fit in? You're on a line. You're fitting in right now. I do have great news for our friends from Syracuse.
Which is?
Jerry McNamara has Siena in the MAAC final against Merrimack. Don't say that a lot of times fast. But they get a day off, and then they play Tuesday night, 9 o'clock. So, Cuse fans, you got something to watch in March.
Did you give Stewart credit for the too short line? Is that what you did? You got to get in where you fit in?
Oh, yeah, that is too short.
It is. That'd be awesome for Jerry. I mean, might be an opening at his alma mater.
Yeah.
I mean, we've got a few, BC, Georgia Tech.
ACC.
Have come open.
What else you got?
I mean, I just wrote Big 12 tourney, good luck, melee.
What'd you think? Did you see any of the court? You were hot on the court.
I don't care. It's not for me.
Okay.
All I care about is, does it react like a hardwood floor? Is it bouncy? Does the bulb come off it the way it would off of any other floor? Because if it does, then fine, it's much ado about nothing. But if it's kind of wonky, then you're doing too much. Like you doing this for clicks, as they say. I don't know that. Maybe it's not a thing.
I thought the TV experience, it would pop more. Kind of gray. Stuff meshes in there. That Phillips 66 logo's loud and proud, though.
Sure it is.
As it should be.
That league's unreal. Was watching BYU late. That's a battle of 2 teams in BYU with Saunders, Texas Tech with Top, and each team lost a guy that changed who they were.
Yeah.
And so each team kind of has to figure out, all right, what are we without him? And I think the answer is, all right, well, we got DeBonsa, right, we got Anderson. We'll figure it out. But I was watching them late. Kansas felt like Patterson looked as good as he's looked, but Kansas State's, you know, got to get you.
Unacceptable season?
I got a team I'll talk about that had an unacceptable season a little later.
Yeah, wore that yesterday.
But they looked, you go, all right. It's just hard to tell when you're playing against a team that's not giving you a whole lot of pushback.
Yeah, I wanted, the way the bracket was looking out, the conference tournament, we were going to get Iowa State and Kansas in the 4-5 game, which would have been awesome in Kansas City on Friday. But Texas Tech losing late bumped Iowa State up to the 3. Now it's all different now. But
Iowa
anyway.
State went on about an 8-minute run against
Arizona State,
where they just decided you're not scoring, and they didn't. It was like 28-1 run. It was preposterous. But you don't get to play at Hilton. So I think moving forward, it's just really about how much of what you have travels, right? Teams that make shots, that travels. Teams that just try and lock you up on defense, that travels.
Mm-hmm.
Teams that aren't real interested in guard, and I don't love that. That scares crap out of me this time of the year, because you're not going to necessarily be able to make as many buckets away from comfortable places. Just a couple of teams that impressed me. The Arkansas win, like I said, without Acuff against a desperate Missouri team was impressive. The Louisville win against a good Miami team without Brown, that impressed me. They made shots. Vandy took advantage of no Ament for Tennessee, and Vandy went into Knoxville and got a victory. That was a big victory that I saw. But then this bulk of teams that just didn't win games, this bubble, this back end stuff.
Yeah.
This is where I say Miami owes in, period. I saw Bruce Pearl said the same. Bruce Pearl's advocating for Akron and Miami O.
Oh, really?
If
now he is?
That's okay. We're allowed to have an epiphany. We're allowed to come around. People that say, "Oh, I picked so and so in September," I got to say, you don't have to stay with that. You're allowed to evolve. You're allowed to change your mind. That's fine. But these teams that just don't win games, I don't want to hear it. And the whole idea that no one wants a bigger tournament when you can't fill out the back end with people that can't win a game. It's really, really difficult to win 6 games in a row. Okay. There are a handful of teams that are capable of winning 2 and making Sweet 16. Fewer still that can win 4 and get to a Final Four. And a truly elite pool of people that can win 6 games. If you can't fucking win 1 when you need 1 to say we're in, then I don't care if you make it or you don't.
At home, in a lot of instances?
This weekend was,
high payroll?
Who's that? Kentucky? Oh, NC State. They're the team I don't get. And look, I'll say it for you so you don't have to say it so people aren't saying Steve went to Stanford. I'll say it on your behalf. Stanford's got some bad losses.
2.
I dug through it. You can't lose to Seattle.
Watched them.
Okay?
Love the roster.
That's a loss you don't want to have. Who's your other bad loss?
UNLV.
They're not great.
They're playing great, though.
So much better now. I give Pastner credit because I watched UNLV play some games earlier this year, and I'm like, this team is doo-doo. And now it's like it's all come together, and they've played so much better in the last month. Like, watchable.
They win.
Yes, it's fun. Rebs, I owe you an apology. I was familiar with your game earlier, and it was doo-doo. And now, San Diego State at home had to fight to beat them.
Yeah.
So, okay, I guess that's not a great loss. But I'm talking about Stanford. And Stanford had a section in the middle of January where they lost like 6 or 7 in a row. 5 in a row. It was a lot of games in a row. But they've played better of late. They beat State on State's home floor. Stanford beat Carolina with Caleb Wilson. NC State's best win is a blowout of Carolina without him. Stanford also beat Louisville. And I'm looking at an NC
St. Louis.
Pelicans. Wheels kind of falling off the bus there. They took it on the chin. Tony Skins, Mason guys beat him by about 100. That's because Bernard and Preston were there. Bernard's from St. Louis, or he went there once.
You got family that lives there. Claims them.
Something. 8 people get that reference, but they're all howling right now.
Bayless.
I just look at State, and I'm like, they've lost 7 of 8. 6 of 7. They've gotten 6-7. And they've gotten blown out a bunch. And State's a lock and Stanford's a question mark? Like, overall resume, dude. Like, okay, I'm just watching the games right now. And
you're not a ball knower, dude.
Tell me who you'd rather play in the tournament right now, NC State or Stanford? Because the real answer is I'd rather not play Stanford.
And of course, what's going to happen is now they're on the same line, and if Stanford wins Tuesday against Pittsburgh, they play another home game for NC State.
Good. Because if you're Stanford, go win the game. Well, we already beat them in Raleigh. That's all right. You're in tournament mode right now. Your NCAA tournament starts Tuesday against Pitt. Survive in advance. Go beat State again. And then I don't know what the argument could possibly be for State.
Yeah. I know no one cares, and it's not going to matter, but
I care.
Corey finished the season averaging more points than Boozer. Like, years from now, no one will ever remember that.
No, because Boozer's going to win Player of the Year.
He's had an unbelievable season. And it's just, again, it's a shame. And Stanford's been in a rut here. Kyle's won 2 straight years of 20 wins after we still haven't gone to the tournament. I think it's 9 straight years, which sucks. But they've had plenty of opportunities to. I mean, getting swept by Cal, that's a killer because Cal's right there on the bubble. But that I asked you last week, should the old last 10 come back?
Well, apparently that's not a metric that's used at the moment by the NCAA tournament committee.
Used to be.
But whether it's used or not, doesn't it or shouldn't it come up if you're in the room and you're like, I know State's resume is what it is, and if it's better, it's better. I'm not knocking the overall resume because like we were talking about earlier with Navy, I mean, if your season starts in November and you're making deposits in this account, it should reflect the entirety of a season. So that's certainly part of it. But I also think if the trend is not your friend and you just haven't looked the part and you've lost to this other team that's got some similar. I had a friend that used to say similar and it used to drive me crazy.
Oh, yeah, it's a tough one.
That's not a word. Similar. You mean similar? Yeah, similar. Come over here. I'm going to hit you in the head with a wrench. If it's similar, I'm going to bring that up. Like, how have they looked in the last 3 weeks? Have they looked to you like a team that is capable of winning a game? Let's start there because they're going to be on a line where they're going to be in against someone that's similar to them. Can they beat that team in the tournament? Because if it doesn't seem like they can, then why are we putting them on the line?
Yeah. Also, in that 5-game losing streak, they lost their second-best player in Akpara. And to Kyle Smith's credit, which I think the world of a head coach, they figured it out. So, we'll see.
A lot of life's figuring it out.
Odds are stacked against them, but
Corey can get a bucket, man. He can get
Lord.
He can really get a bucket. Is he one and done?
Might be.
He's got to go through the process and see what kind of feedback he gets.
Mm-hmm.
And if he is, he's one of those Halley's Comet things that like streaks across the sky and no one knew he was going to be this. And you just got to go. If the feedback is, son, even in this loaded draft, someone's taking their first round, then hard not to listen.
I don't remember Steve Francis's shooting numbers.
They weren't this.
He's got that kind of game, though. He's undersized, but his quickness, the way, you watch, he's seen every look. They're blitzing him with 2, the blitz with 3. They try and trap him into corner. The elite quickness. And he's got rise and bounce, which is just awesome. And he's totally fearless. Go back and look at the big-time shots he's won at Virginia Tech, who was a team that, oh, my God. Poor Coach Young. He lost it after that loss to Virginia. That's a team. You look at a resume. I don't know. Close games, they can't win them.
No, they've lost.
And they have talent, and he's an excellent coach.
I agree. Excellent. Excruciating losses.
Man.
But, that's how you end up in this group of teams that, Can
we go back to 64?
It might make more sense.
Ooh, that'd be.
But when you just cannot close out games, like watching Oklahoma win at Texas, I give Oklahoma credit. I thought about 100 times this year they were dead, like dead. Nope. You get off the deck, and then you foul, and Texas hits a 3, and I'm like, you're never winning in overtime. And then they bury a big 3 late to win. I give them credit. But Texas, you can't win on your home floor. In that game, you got to win. USC's on this list. They have reached the point of their season where they have ceased being interested or competing. They're done.
Yeah, I think if you ask them too, they would.
We're all set. We'll go to Chicago, and then we'll shut her down.
We won the Maui.
Fake Maui. Auburn, you want to talk resume? I'm sorry. You've had 1,000 chances. I'm sorry.
Is it? They are hanging on to that win at Florida,
and they should, because that's as good a win as there is. They did it. They went to Gainesville.
When was that game?
It was early January.
Thank you.
If I'm if I'm Auburn, I'm putting a spotlight on them. I'm going, see that one seed? We went there and beat them. Not you, us. I would do it too. But the committee's going to say, yeah, and you just went to Tuscaloosa last week and you got boat raced.
Yeah, and then you just ask Siri, who'd Auburn lose to?
No,
and she talks for 5 minutes straight.
My kids would just ask me, "Hey, Dad,"
because they have 15 losses.
How many losses does Auburn have? 15.
Come on.
Who'd they lose to? What was the score? I swear to God, sons, I'm not as smart as you think I am. I wish I were. When was the date of that Florida win? When did they beat them?
It's got to be real early, right there.
Auburn beat. Click on it. Give me a date. Click recap.
Right there. Right there. No, right at the start of the article. There you go.
What's the date? 15th?
24th.
Oh, excuse me. Ooh, January 24th. More recent than I thought.
I mean, come on. Are we serious?
Of all these people that we're talking about, every team's going to point at their best stuff. And that's the Billis question / argument that always comes up this time of year. Who'd you beat? And then the other question is, I'm asking you, what's more compelling? Who you beat or who you lost to? Because who you beat is often a byproduct of who you get to play, right? If you're in a league that gives you
who you get to play.
8 bites of the apple where you're really in the heavyweight ring, then you get a bunch of chances.
Oof. I guess who you beat, because I want to see, what's your capability.
Because that's the question for the tournament. Can you win games? And can you win a game? Let's start with that. And Auburn could 100% win a game. They've shown that. But when you've lost this many, at some point it's got to be disqualifying.
What is it? 10 this season? 6 or 7? You said
who that they've lost?
Auburn.
Let's scroll down to the bottom. No, they've lost.
2 of 10 they've won.
Oh my God!
Yeah, it's
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1 and 5. 1 and 6. 1 and 7. 2 and 7. They're 2 and 8. Their last 10.
Put that on a blind resume in the last 10 against all the bubble teams. It's over.
And your wins are, by the way, LSU, who
battled the other day,
and then
Buckyball got
Kentucky by 1 in the game where Pope got fined for saying, if they fucking fine me for this, I don't care. Or words to that effect. And he wasn't wrong because they there's some calls that were made late.
All right.
So I can't help you, Auburn. War Eagle.
Yeah, and I love you.
1,000%.
Love you.
Love the passion. I'm just like, this is got to be results-based. It's got to just be the black and white, the numbers on paper.
And I can't keep saying you have a great arena when you lose every game there. Or the majority of them.
Lost a lot of games there this year.
But to your point,
yeah,
who'd you beat? Who'd you lose to? Is any of that going to matter this week?
If it doesn't, I don't know why we waste our time and energy and effort. I really don't. I mean, I'll ask about last year in Michigan. And I know at the end of last year, Michigan was not great. They kind of limped to the tournament in Indy, I think it was last year. But then in consecutive days, Michigan beat Purdue, Maryland at the buzzer, and Wisconsin. And Purdue and Maryland were 4 seeds. Wisconsin was a 3 seed. And Michigan, who won the tournament and beat those 3 teams in consecutive days, was a 5. What was the point?
And the show followed them winning a Big Ten title.
But I'm told the committee makes what's the word I'm looking for? Like versions, other versions. I really am senile. What's it's extra versions to be. Somebody out there is listening and they're screaming, "You idiot." The word is.
I have no idea what you're
Come on, dude. Alternative brackets.
Oh, yeah. Possibilities.
No, just you make alternative brackets. There's a different word. It's like variables, things of that nature.
Yeah, my issue is we used to have the 20-hour rule in college where you had to sign a sheet that said we only practice 20 hours. Committee, you can't claim that. I know it's an NCAA rule, but put the time in. Because my man right here is coming at you Sunday as soon as he sees one team misseeded.
Who contingency brackets?
There you go.
Contingency.
I didn't have that one on the tip of my tongue. I'm sorry.
I didn't either. contingency, alternate variable, whatever.
Please tweet Scott and tell him you were screaming contingency.
I know you were.
Nobody was.
Yeah, they were.
No.
We have smart listeners that wear shirts that say Poop Town.
Norlander was.
Contingency brackets. I just don't know if any of it matters. I mean, the die is cast.
It's so good, too.
What, this week?
Oh.
Right, I love it. And my one of the 8 billion questions my kids ask every single day when I pick them up. Dad? Yes, son. Are there any sports on TV? I said, this week,
hell yeah.
Starting early when we get home, games.
Come on.
And you know what's awesome is they're completely invested. Last night, UNC Greensboro and Furman were playing, and they had to go to bed. And as we're going to bed, they're like asking Alexa, who won the Furman game? I'm like, Charlie, what's Dad? Yeah. What's a paladin? I don't have any idea. Dad? Yeah. Is that one helmet we have in the basement Furman? It is. We have a handsome purple Florida and white. It's a white helmet. It's a beautiful, beautiful color combo. Thanks to the Furman folks.
Dad?
What?
Why does their uniform say DINS?
Paladins.
What's a paladin?
Again, it's a circle. It's like me trying to figure out contingency. A paladin's a holy warrior.
Damn right it is.
It's a champion of good and justice. So I guess when it comes to the bubble, I can't help you because you can't help yourselves. You guys can't win games. Put Stanford in. Put them. They got a bucket getter. Oh. Put them in the field. I have a couple shout outs if I could.
Hell yeah.
A lot of people I think over the last few years have come to know that I'm Big Ten Scotty. With that in mind, Bruce Thornton, all-time leading scorer at Ohio State. That's a program that has had some dudes. I mean, some dudes. And Bruce Thornton could have left, but stayed in this era where nobody stays. He stayed, and he's been a bucket-getting machine for years. He's one of those big, strong, barrel-chested, stocky guys. You can't knock him off his position. He's going to get to his spot. And they're playing Indiana, and both of them are kind of in that bubble space, and the shot is fulfilled with 18,000. I saw some awesome videos of them there to cheer on the team, OH, but to cheer on him. And so to Bruce Thornton, all-time leading scorer at Ohio State, I salute you. That's awesome because, again, that's a program with history. I know football is the team that people think of most when they think of Ohio State, with good reason. But that's a basketball program that's got some high-level achievers through the years and some giants and some bucket getters, and now Bruce Thornton is the all-timer.
Please wear the Jim Jackson gray uniforms the rest of the way.
That's a great suggestion.
It's the best gray uniform in sports.
One additional shout-out, and I don't know that this will get to him, and I'm sure he wouldn't care if he did. I just want to say, Big Ten Scotty, the highest praise that I can give a player when they reach the point where they either leave early to go to the league or graduate is, thank God you're leaving. Please go away. Nick Martinelli at Northwestern. Buddy, I couldn't have more admiration for the way that guy battles his ass off. You want to talk about a great year in college basketball? And this is an excellent year in college basketball.
Yeah.
And a league that's got some dudes.
League.
Big Ten is packed. You know who the leading scorer in the Big Ten is this year? Nick Martinelli. The guy who looks like he walked off the set of Starsky and Hutch. Looked like maybe he could beat the heavy bag a little bit. Pound you with left hooks. He's got a kind of unorthodox, kind of herky-jerky game, left-handed. He jumps when he shoots free throws. He's a whirling dervish, spinning all over. And here's the thing. You can't stop him. You know what he's going to do. Doesn't make any damn difference. You can't stop him. And they lost, I don't even know how many close games. I jotted it down. I want to say it was, doesn't matter how many close games they lost, but it was a preposterous number that unfortunately their regular season ended with them losing by 1 in the barn to Minnesota in a game where Martinelli actually missed a 1-and-1 late and missed the 3 that they ran for him to end the game, which would have won it. I don't care that the game and the regular season ends with that disappointment. It's not that I don't care. I mean, I don't care as it relates to who you have been as a player. I couldn't admire more how hard the dude played, and that in this season, a great season in the Big Ten, that Martinelli is the leading scorer in the league. And again, the highest praise I can offer you is please leave. Thank God you're leaving. I never want to play against you again because there's no stopping you. And so just appreciate that dude who, you know, Collins teams were on the wrong end of some really close losses this year, including that last one. But Martinelli's a bucket, man.
Yeah, that's when you look at Northwestern and you think about a guy, Martinelli, and you watch him. And it happens for me with Northwestern. It happens like with other teams I'm blanking on. But just like, God, this conference is brutal. You know,
Yeah.
And Northwestern's going all over the place, and I get it with the West Coast travel now. But I always think every year Northwestern has the toughest schedule. I don't know why. I know they're probably they are the underdogs in most of the games, but it's like they get home games against Michigan State and Illinois. All right, they're at Iowa, and then they're at Ohio State, and then they're going to Wisconsin. Then they come home. It's just a wrecking machine of what these schedules look. And that's the other thing for the committee. When you just start breaking it down, you're like, man, this team had to do this. I'm not asking for schedule sympathy, but I just credit to Coach Collins in that program, because I'm pretty sure the visiting teams know, like, hey, could be sleepy, it could be awesome. We got to be our best when we go to Northwestern because we're going to get theirs, and it starts with that Martinelli. It's astounding. Watch him play. Look at the numbers. Look at the competition. It's nuts.
He's bigger than you think. He's just tough as nails. I don't know. I loved watching that guy play, but I hated playing against him, and so
could he win Player of the Year in the conference?
It's a great. I mean, he led the team in scoring. I mean, it's got to be Yaxel, I think. I mean, they won 29 basketball games. But there's a classic example. I mean, they were up double digits on Michigan at their place, and then they almost didn't cover because Michigan is just, they're going to grind you into dust.
Yep.
But shout to Thornton, shout to Martinelli. I had enough bubble talk. Player of the Year. Was it Boozer? I think it's got to be. He's the most consistent. He gets mid-20s and a dozen boards like it's nothing.
Who else is it?
There you go.
You know?
I mean, Yaxel, he's really good.
Yeah. People want numbers. People love numbers. Booze is right there.
Double-double. He's. I feel like he's never not that guy.
It's been pretty cool watching how consistent he has been and become. And then Saturday, I thought was a perfect instant because he jumpstarts the whole game with one pass. It's, I think, a 2-point game, 1-point game, and his vision as a passer is elite. And I wonder if that's going to get affected with the size I talked about at the next level. But he sees Dame across the court in the corner. Dame hits a 3. Dame gets a steal and dunk. Dame comes down and gets an illegal screen call, and that game is flipped. It goes from 2 to 11 in the blink of an eye, and it was because of Boozer and his vision and what he brings to the table. But the way when you watch him and what he does, how he's processing everything, it's really cool to see because they come out with no Foster. They knew they didn't have Gongba, and it's like, all right, how Lil Booze is only going to play how much time? Are we going to bring Harrison? We know Cam is going to be on there for 20 minutes, and he's going to figure it out for us. And he did. So
he to me, if I have a vote, he's the player of the year.
Okay.
Most consistently impactful. guys like DeBonsa have moments that are like, whoa. But this isn't the draft. This is who's been the most consistently impactful every game guy. I feel like that's...
And all those guys have the ball in their hands the majority of the game.
Yeah, Boozer, I mean, they're smart with how they use Boozer. And, like, when push comes to shove, like, he ends up with the ball at the top of the key, and we're going to let him figure something out. I mean, Shire runs great stuff, man. But that's my vote. Don't have a vote. I don't have any votes for anything.
No?
Not a single one.
I'm going to get you some NFL award voting.
NFL news. We'll get to some NFL news here in a minute. I've been keeping an eye on Adam Schefter. He's got Schrager and Schefter in the joint, in the dome out in Indy. They're breaking things down. So we'll get to some NFL news, which is happening. Are we pretty good on the college hoops? I mean, I know you got a book. I know. I know we can just keep going.
Go ahead, I have my note. No, I have my notes on the teams that are going to advance, and we got time now for next week.
Okay.
Because I want to give those teams their due.
Okay.
Nolan Smith being a Dookie was awesome. That guy took the job in July.
I was going to say, of all the jobs that have happened and were taken, no one's done a better job. Like, late, impossible, can't do it. They made the tournament.
Yeah. Unbelievable. I mean, that's a good league. Like, Belmont left that league and is gone. Morehead State's made some runs. We've seen teams, win a game in a tournament, but it's the first clincher every year.
It's a very competitive league.
It's good, man. And to come out of nowhere, I think they made the tournament once prior, and he made a decision to leave Duke when Shire got the job. Went to Louisville, was a disaster. And then I believe he went somewhere for a year last year. And he took the job in July, and
Tennessee State in the tournament. Put him on the line.
Yeah.
Put him on the line.
So all the rest of you, you'll get your time when we got you.
Red is here. Red's had enough.
Before you start, I just want to mention that we took the kids to the Maryland game yesterday. And 2-point game late, and security guy leans over, and I got the two little ones of my father-in-law next to me. He says, if they rush the court, they're coming right here. And the girls were in it. Room for the Terps. We went to the Purdue game. It didn't go well. They were invested. Place was a lot better thanks to the students for showing up. And right when the security guys, they're going to come like right here. You know where it is, right at midcourt.
I'm familiar.
And you've seen it happen. And the two of them turn and look at me, and they're like, we still want them to win. You could see the scariness because they were out and they were getting refs, opposing players. They had it all yesterday. It was great. And to see my little kids' faces like, wait, they're going to come. Right, because obviously, to your point, the kids love seeing the court storm.
Sure.
And just to see that instance in their face where it's like, right here, where are we getting? I'm like, we're just going to move towards the seats. You'll be fine. Let's hope it happens. But Illinois in person, monstrous.
It's a big group.
Monstrous. And Wagler might be the least impressive physically put together kid on that team. But they got to be better defensively. If I saw somebody say, it might have been Steve Smith on the call when I watched the replay, was if there's any shots made by Maryland from the outside, they win that game. And that's what Illinois' susceptibility. I think in every loss, they've given up at least 87. So just to touch on them, they are on the list. But awesome atmosphere. Thank you, Maryland, Kirby, and Jim for the experience. And season's not over. Tuesday.
Okay. We had a game, big one. Boys played well. Ball went in the basket. Got a dub yesterday. That was big. Excited for them, my youngsters. Couldn't be out there. I came in here repping squad because I love Maryland.
Yes.
All right. I've probably been conspicuous this season in not talking about them because there really hasn't been a whole lot to say. But I do want to say something, and about the year, and it's not fun when you weigh in on a season like this, particularly when it's framed with how much fun last year was, right? This time last year, Maryland was going off their last game, and we had a lot of fun. Kevin Plank, my friends from Under Armour, we had this idea about Crab 5, which is what they called last year's group. Could we make a shirt for the students, just a kind of a fun thing? And it was a great time. And, that team had a 5-star local kid who hits a buzzer beater in the tournament to send them to the Sweet 16. And you lose to the team that won the title. Mm-hmm. No one beat Florida. Then that local kid who stayed home goes lottery, and that's what Maryland basketball is supposed to be. This season is not what it's supposed to be. And this season, whenever they take their next loss, unless they go on a run in Chicago and win every game, and then go to the tournament and win every game, unless that happens, then they will have lost 21 games. And that's just not acceptable. Not acceptable. And so that's it. The end. That this is not what Maryland basketball is. This. And there's a lot that goes into that. Well, when Coach Willard left, it was kind of late and later. Okay, well, I guess, but the coach who followed Buzz at College Station, they finished tied for 4th in the SEC. He got there later. So, well, Payne got injured. He's a really good player. Hopefully he gets a red shirt and returns. That'd be a big thing next year. I hope that happens. But before he got hurt, they had taken some significant losses already. And unless Maryland wins every single game from here on out, they will lose 21 games, which is more than they've ever lost in a season in my entire life. And so when I say it's unacceptable, it's just this isn't what Maryland basketball is. It's not this, ever. And I think I'm pretty decent about being a fan that's reasonable, even though most of us aren't. Most fans, we look in the mirror and we see only the hottest versions of ourselves. So, you go back and you go, we won a title. It was 20-something years ago. But yeah, that happened. Proved it could happen. But I'd be more reasonable and say, you know what? I've seen a handful of guys be drafted 1st or 2nd in the draft overall. But even that's a little bit of an outlier. What I've mostly seen in my life, Steve, is I've seen Maryland be a tournament team. A team that has a fun season and has a chance to win. What are we talking about with these teams? Can you get in the tournament? Can you win a game? Can you win some games? And most of my entire life, the answer to that's been yeah. And that's what you hope for. So that's when I say this year, this ain't it. This isn't it. It's never been this my whole life. 21 losses? Come on. So hadn't been a ton of fun. And I just hope it gets better. You saw him, 7, Andre Mills. The guy can get buckets. He's been a revelation. And that's a Buzz guy that was with him down at A&M. And he redshirted down there. And I have to admit, I didn't know he could become what he's become in this last month of the season. Been awesome to see.
As good as any freshman.
In the league.
Yeah.
It's just been spectacular. So I get how fans operate, and everybody just wants to be like, I'm saying this season was unacceptable because it is. But I also know that it isn't hopeless. I know that Maryland, Jim Smith, our AD, who is committed to doing everything he can to put the athletic department in a great position. I know he's committed to this. I know Maryland's president is as well. And so it's like, all right, figure out a way to keep the people that want to be part of the program moving forward, and let's go. So I'm not sitting here. I don't have pitchforks out. I'm not screaming anything other than saying that this year was a difficult one. And I don't think that's an epiphany to anybody. But they played hard. They keep playing hard. And, hey, go to Chicago, shock the world, win them all. and then run this back on Cold Takes Forever or whatever it's called, Cold Takes Exposed. But short of that, I mean, 21 losses is just, this isn't what it's ever been in my whole life.
You've never seen it.
That's what I'm saying.
Exactly.
So that's all. That's all. But I came in here today and I'm repping this as proud as ever because we're all from somewhere and I'm from here. And I rep the Terps first and last. That has not changed. That's that. Onward to Chicago.
There you go. You're on a line. Got an opportunity. Sunday's a long way away. Got to take care of Tuesday.
Go Georgia Southern.
Oh, Troy's good. Yeah. Only in Maryland.
Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead. No, the students were on one. I appreciated it. Got to the level. Girls started laughing. Then they started cringing. Some of the things that were said. And then at Maryland, of course, when just going to find something to be mad at, accused of leaving the game at the under 4 timeout so I could take my daughter to the bathroom.
People want you to stay till the end, Steve.
I did.
She had to go to the potty.
Kids got to go. They got to go.
Potty break.
Sorry.
Hey, man, like I said, final game for the folks to come out and cheer them on. Final game for the team playing against a team that could win the title, and they fought. So.
And this could be easy, or it could be really hard. And people, because of social media and things hanging out there and things to hold on to, the most important thing that has to happen, it's got to get flushed. You just flush it. To your point, moving onward.
Exactly.
Saw the best recruit they got coming in yesterday at the game.
Baba.
Didn't have a ball in his hand, but goddamn is that dude big. And he could go.
Hey, listen, Buzzer's got a big-time recruiting class coming in. I mean, it's always about retention these days. And so.
You got to flush it.
It's very flushable.
Yeah.
So, just hasn't been a ton of fun.
We like fun, Scott.
Well, I mean, I know that they, everybody wants it to be better. And I think everyone is on the same page about that. So, there we go. I see Schefter's breaking news.
What do you got?
Kenneth Walker, Super Bowl MVP, is going to be running the football for the Kansas City Chiefs.
Oh, so they're not taking Jeremiah Love.
It would appear not. It would appear that they found their running back, and he was the guy toting the rock for Seattle in the Super Bowl. Alec Pierce, big-time wide receiver that I think elevated his stature in the game this season. He's excellent at making contested catches.
Yeah.
Pierce. He's staying in Indy.
Really?
He is. That was surprising to me.
I saw 2 quarterback fits that I would love to see.
Which are?
And they are going to sound very dicey.
I'm listening.
And probably not popular. But I believe they can work because of the guys in charge. That is
Stanford Steve, hot free agency takes.
Geno Smith to the Vikings and Kyler Murray to the Colts.
I thought Kyler Murray was favored to go to the Vikings. That's what I had been reading.
Okay.
You like Geno? Geno behind that Raider offensive line last year made people think he can't do it. I'm telling you, vintage Tom Brady behind that old line. If you could put him in a time machine, although he's kind of Benjamin Buttons, that guy is not going to ever look like an old man. But if you took vintage Tom Brady and put him behind the Raiders O-line last year, it would not have been pretty.
Yeah.
They were bad. So Geno, you like those fits. Why?
Because of the guys in charge. KOC with a guy that's had some rough patches, but still can be an NFL, has been successful.
Okay.
At the level. And Steichen, just because of how creative it is with Jonathan Taylor, with that offensive line, you got Pierce back. And it's got to be the most humbling times of Kyler Murray's time.
Yeah,
I saw he's the 7th straight number one overall pick that didn't get renewed by his NFL team or the team that drafted him or something? Didn't get the second draft. I got it. Sorry.
I mean, when they put the clause in about he had to study, you're like, really? And I don't know if that was fake news or real news, but I think it was the kind of thing that they said was fake news, and then after it was like, oh, there's just some stuff in there about some language. It maybe was real. I mean, it is, I would think, humbling, but it doesn't mean it's the end of your story. The rest is still unwritten. Look at Baker. You can go reinvent yourself someplace else.
And he'd be the first person to tell you got to change things, and it starts with yourself.
He's had certainly a very successful second/third act, whatever you want to call it, in Tampa. Shefty tweet. Laramie Tunsil, extension in Washington. Okay.
Okay.
Waiting to see if there's any Shefty bombs here. This is smart. Get together there. Pat brings everybody into the command center there in the Thunderdome, and he's breaking the news.
No doubt.
And Schefter's simultaneously tweeting it and see, this is smart because ultimately his Twitter feed is bigger than your audience. I know this because I was on SportsCenter with him once when he was doing this, and he basically told me, ad lib.
Wow, Jalen Phillips going to the Panthers.
Schefter tweeting, Jalen Phillips to the Panthers, leaving Philly.
According to ESPN stats and info, Kyler Murray will be the 7th straight quarterback drafted first overall by his team that didn't make it with that team until the age of 30. Stafford's the last one. That's nuts.
The league's inability to assess who's any good at that position is amazing.
Let's go dive in then. Let's go be the guys that get quarterbacks right.
Hashtag ball knowers.
How do we prove that we could do it? For the history of the league, it's gotten wrong. Give us a chance. We watch ball.
Ball knowers.
Come on.
We'll form an agency.
LLC?
Something.
Just Red's in.
He'll help us.
Well, Red will run routes.
He's quick.
I know.
Got 4 legs.
Throw it out there.
Ball knowers. I mean, it can't be worse. Our hit rate on these quarterback could not be worse. I get that we're in that weird place where it's like, and the NBA playoffs aren't here yet, but when it gets to be 80 this week, especially here, I know in the rest of the country where it's been warm, you're like, welcome to March. But you start kind of thinking about playoff stuff, at least I do. The fact that the Hornets look like a playoff team's fun. Perk told us last week on SportsCenter, he feels like they're going to make it. That's just a fun, cool story. I saw the Wemby comeback the other night against the Clippers where he got emotional. People like, it's cool to see somebody that cares as much about a regular season game. I completely agree. Then they went out and put it on the Rockets, scored like 145. I used to be really stubborn about the idea that, and it happened to the Thunder, you got to take some playoff lumps before you got to walk before you fly. Do you think the Spurs could just dive into these playoffs and be a wrecking ball?
Yeah.
I do too. And maybe it's because I look at the way they played against the Thunder and they have it. They've got a sweet tooth for them and a lack of fear for them. I think this Spurs team, like when you watch what Wembanyama is, there's no answer for that man. Legitimately no answer of any kind. Our guy Schmidt in a ballroom in Lithuania 10 years ago being like, I'm here to see this 12-year-old French kid. Like, you're what? Literally, he was there to see a teenage kid from France he was telling us about. His name's Victor Wembanyama. I'm like, cool story. That happened on SportsCenter. I want to say it was during the pandemic, actually. But he's everything that was suggested he could be. That Spurs team is compelling as hell. The Thunder aren't going anywhere. Tatum coming back to this Boston team that's managed to be second without him and him looking mostly like himself is an amazing adrenaline shot to an Eastern Conference where people were like, I don't know, maybe Detroit? Did Boston become the favorite in your mind?
Not in my mind.
Who is?
Right.
Are they? Okay. Definitively.
Yeah, it's me.
That one of those things.
I know. I'm in the minority on that one.
That's okay. Because I'm just defaulting to Missoula and that bunch. They'll have a playoff game series against somebody where they'll shoot 63 three-pointers and just be stubborn, and they'll miss a bunch, and I'll think, why do they do that?
What do we got for games played? I'm going to do an exercise. I'm going to write down what the playoff matchups would be right now.
Okay.
If the playoffs started today. And then we're going to come back after March Madness, and I'm going to see what they did. And I want to know if anything changed. So what are we at? We're at 45 and 18 is 63. We got 20 games left, let's say, for teams. General. 20 games.
Yeah.
With the tanking and teams that are setting up to be in the lottery and teams that are actually trying, I want to see what happens.
I think when a team adds a former playoff MVP in March who's already second without him, that somehow is back 300 days after his Achilles pops is just kind of a wow moment. And to see him look already like himself is significant news in the East.
I would like to say on that.
Go ahead.
I want the best for Jayson Tatum. I think he's an awesome dude. I think he's shown how much he cares.
I feel like there's a but coming.
No, I think it's a reality check to the others that I'm not saying every Achilles injury. I'm just saying it's pretty evident he went about this rehab process to get back for this season like a star athlete should. And we've talked about it. I've been in there. I spent a lot of my time in the training room in college. Are you doing everything you can to get yourself better? And it's a fascinating deal. And it happens in everyday life. You know?
I truly think about that. About an injury of that level. I had a weird thing on my shoulder that I...
Frozen?
Pardon?
Frozen?
A little bit. The last month I've gone for PT and whatever, and I see people, and I mean, I'm not going to go...
Like on the top or the back?
It was in the back shoulder.
Rolling on like a baseball?
We did all sorts of stuff. We did these pulleys. We did like these wall stretches. Like the only time it hurt is when I did like a 90-degree angle and I did this. I'm like, so how about...
That's just like scapula.
The only time it hurts is when I do this. Like the old joke. So don't do that. Dun-dun-dun. But I'm looking around the room at these people and I'm wondering, like, who's this lady? What happened to her ankle? Who's that dude? Look at that guy. What'd you do? But what am I going to... I'm not going to bother these people. These are just normal people trying to live their lives. But imagine you're an elite athlete.
Correct.
And the thing that gives you your livelihood is impacted to the degree you cannot do it. What are you willing to put yourself through to go back out there and do it again? Well, the answer with Tatum was evidently everything. Now, every injury is also different, right? So this isn't saying, well, Tatum cares more than Halliburton. No. That's not what you're saying. But it is clear that Tatum's injury and his ability to rehab that injury had an avenue that he took that got him back in early March, and he's here. Which I have to admit, in my brain, I never once thought last spring when he went down in the Garden against New York was even a possibility. I'm like, well, next year's done. Only it wasn't. That's incredible, actually.
Yeah, because I'm reading like all the NFL draft stuff, and there's guys that have gotten hurt and that haven't come back, and it's over a year to the combine. Still didn't test. Like, this is it, man. People die for these opportunities and want to have these opportunities happen to them, and it's just going by the wayside. Draft's in like 40 days. And people you surround yourself with, the things that you say about yourself and know about yourself when you are by yourself, all that stuff, no matter what. And how do you respond to adversity? There's different levels of adversity all over the place for different people. I just think it says so much about him and being able to do that, knowing the prowess he brings to the table.
But isn't there an incredible value in finding out about yourself, what you're capable of when adversity shows up. Because you only know and you only find out. You've heard me say, there's a million lines you've heard me say a million times, but perspective is something you either have or you get. And I think you and I have both been through some life stuff, heavy stuff that none of us asked for, and you figure out a way to survive it.
Yeah.
Well, when it comes to an injury like this to an elite athlete, you find out, all right, man, this hurts. All right, can you push through it? At what point is it mental? At what point is the hurdle mental? At what point do you get over that mental hurdle? And he addressed like how big a deal it was just for him to do it, to play. And I'm thinking about, wow, the first time you make that cut, do you trust you can do it? And then I guess once you do, all right, maybe now you make the next move with a little bit more, a little more emphasis because you believe it, you trust it. I find that amazing. People's ability to learn about themselves. I would think, like I said a moment ago, I think there's got to be enormous value in learning this about yourself. You wouldn't have chosen it, but once you're laying there on the garden floor, you got, get knocked down 9 times, get up 10, right? Mm-hmm. He's back up and at him.
Is that real?
More breaking news. Shefty tweet. Malik Willis, the coveted free agent quarterback.
Wish I could have bet on that.
Speaking of the Kyler Murray, where's he going to go? Baker Mayfield, high draft pick, doesn't go the way you wanted in Cleveland. Goes to where? Tampa. You got it. Malik Willis signs with, there was much speculation about this, the Miami Dolphins.
Yeah, I wish I could have bet on that.
There was no one of these markets you can bet on anything.
Nah, not bootleg sites.
How can you not bet on where a guy's going to go? You could bet on, like, if we're going to war. You can't bet on where Malik Willis is going to sign?
I didn't see it in my shop.
Yeah, but there's these other market things.
Yeah, I know. I don't have access.
I don't understand.
We're restricted. Your IP address. Yeah.
Oh. I don't know how stuff works. Malik Willis, Dolphin.
We have your full engagement and investment in March Madness, right?
1,000%.
Yeah.
Why? What are you worried about? What's going to draw my attention away from that?
What you just talked about.
What, the fact that my squad's not in it?
Correct.
Oh, no, it's just a bummer. I've said when you're sitting there and you're used to it and that show starts and you hear that magical music and you're just waiting. A few years ago, Turge was the coach. Like, I knew Maryland was in it, but it was literally the last line. And that wait, knowing you're in it, because it wasn't a bubble question, but like, when are we going to hear it? I mean, if you're someone like me who's been lucky enough to experience a team that mostly in my life has been a tournament team, don't take that for granted. That the fun it is to see where you're going. Because it's a blast to see where you're going. But yeah, just because this has been a season that went in a direction nobody hoped it would, that doesn't mean that I'm not. Steve, I spent my entire Saturday watching games I had nothing to do with just because I love watching hoops.
I understand.
So that I could answer my children's questions.
But I have seen you when your team's not on the line. It has happened before. Where it's like, there's not that juice.
I got the juice.
I have the juice. Speaking of juice, did you see the mayor Hoiberg talking postgame after corn versus crops?
About his wife and about his son. I thought after the 3 that Iowa hit, I thought Hoiberg was going to hit a half-court shot and it was just going to be a movie. And it was just a tick shy. But he had a couple big moves in the overtime, set up a 3, hit a scoop. Yeah, I saw him talking about his child, about his wife, about the job she did. He got extended, by the way. Great job. Shout to Corn.
Corn.
They beat Crops.
Where is Big Ten? Chicago or Indianapolis?
Chicago.
All right.
Sweet home, Chicago. Last time I was there. I was supposed to see Maryland, Indiana, and Red got loose. I came home, tried to find him. Remember that? He escaped from a dog place.
Oh, yeah.
And like all of Kensington was looking for him. It was an amazing, like, CSI Kensington. Literally, search parties formed. They were out running and roaming the neighborhood because somebody sort of saw him. And then remember that?
Somebody find Van Pelt's dog.
And they tried, and then somehow he made his way back to the
food.
Buddy, when I got home that night.
They must have had plastic bottles.
Dogs are amazing. Like the intelligence of dogs, and there was this dog tracker involved. I'm telling you, that whole thing was a legitimate.
Was that 4 years ago?
It's like a Netflix series. Whatever year that. Now, he's only 3 years old, so it had to be. It was 3 years ago. He was a puppy. That was when it was in Chicago. So that's where it is this year. Why do you ask?
Just the invasion Corn can bring to the table. They're 2 seed in the Big Ten.
It's a hell of a year Nebraska's had. They, by the way, have 0 tournament wins. The next win they have will be their first in their history.
Yep.
Not one. Not a tournament win ever. Not 0. That's hard to do.
Indiana football.
Proof positive. Anything could happen.
I mean, listen, there's ways to earn your way onto the list. A 2 seed in the Big Ten, you're worthy.
Yeah, they've demonstrated.
You know?
But I didn't mean to hijack the conversation from the Hoiberg postgame, which was...
Ooh, man. So much good stuff out there. Kelvin Stampson talking about the kid Fala from Oklahoma State. Just awesome. That game.
Oklahoma State played hard.
People were there.
Gallagher-Iba, man, that reminds me of one of... like Cole back in the day, a truly great venue. And I get it. Like Gottlieb explained to me, obviously he wore the uniform, and explained to me how when Oklahoma City came and the Thunder became a thing, it took a lot of the shine away from that because for the longest, that's where people would go to watch ball. And like when Gallagher-Iba is good, it's as good as any there is in the country.
That's the other thing. Watching BYU, Texas Tech the other night, Fran and Boog. We're going to have to – we need their list. They can't go to these places and say it's one of the top. I need the list.
Well, I think the Big 12, you got McHale, Hilton, Fogg, and then BYU. Is it the Marriott Center?
Yep.
I mean, they got 18,000 people to go bananas all game long in that place. That's heavy hitters in that league. And I'm leaving off Texas Tech, and you've explained to us what Lubbock's all about.
No, you're going to leave off West Virginia. Think about that place when it was cranked.
Who'd they beat? They beat UCF the other night.
Yeah.
At home.
Girls just won a Big 12 title.
Is West Virginia going to make it? Their wins are good. Their losses are bad. That's what you could say about most of these people.
Yeah, they don't have multiple.
All right. So this time next week, we'll have a...
sheet. That's the other thing about tournament expansion that no one wants. What happens to March Madness pools? You're going to fill out a bracket for 96 teams?
Yeah, think of the bracket.
Come on, people.
Think of the bracket. There's things bigger than more money for the NCAA.
Yeah.
Brackets. It's a sacred thing. It can't mess with that.
64.
Or 8, give or take.
Yeah.
First 4. All right, it's 80 degrees.
You want to get lunch?
I think my mom might come over and go for a little walk.
Oh, no, double walking, huh?
Is there a lunch crew gathering?
Throw it out there on the bird right now.
All right, well, we'll see what we got. I hope everyone has a wonderful week. Happy championship week, which may or may not mean anything to the committee, although contingency brackets are out there, I'm told. Shout out to Coach Salisbury. For $1 billion, I couldn't have gotten that name. My boy, my man Corey, told me, that's where we started. Loosen up your arm, Bama's, Mr. Salisbury. He's like, you're senile. Yes.
You said it yourself.
I did. I mean, we're reaching that point.
All right.
Shoulder doesn't work for no reason. Can't remember names. Can't get contingency.
You bringing your baseball tonight?
Yeah, I'll have it.
All right. Roll on it. That'll loosen it up.
There's a lot of different tricks you can do.
Oh, I'm telling you, that one.
You know what else helps? Take a needle this long with cortisone in your shoulder.
You got that?
I did. I got 2 of those. First one didn't take.
We
haven't started swinging this week for sure. We're gonna have to.
That's where you're going right now.
No, I'm not.
Test it out.
Not yet.
Mom, we're gonna go hit balls.
Hey, man. Mom.
Speaking of,
yeah,
that 6-iron Akshay hit on 16.
Spicy.
He said Joe said hit the best 6-iron of your life.
And then he did.
Oh my! Perfect. I couldn't believe how good that shot was.
This is what we remember last week. We were talking about Lowry and how hard it is to win on tour. Berger shot 9 under the first day and led from Thursday through Sunday afternoon, and then gets caught. It's.
He brought it up.
What do you say?
He's like, I know what the opportunity was. He's like Bridgman a couple weeks ago.
Berger's an excellent player, and he played great, and he'll win. Every player would prefer. Every player not named Tiger Woods in his prime would prefer to be the NASCAR analogy. You'd rather be the car drafting off the lead. There's just something different about it. You fire at a pin different because you're not leading and protecting. You're trying to play the best shot you can.
What do they play? 3 holes Sunday morning to finish the round?
Yeah.
He made up what, 2 there?
Well, I mean, think about how much that sucks. The
I know.
weather delay, you lose an hour, which by the way is bullshit and has to stop.
Is this it? Last time we're doing clocks, I heard.
I don't know.
That go to the weather guys?
I don't. Someone's in charge. Just stop doing the thing with it. Stop fucking with the time.
Oof, that one came quick.
Right? You wake up and it's like, wait, it's 10 o'clock? No, it wasn't. I was watching games.
I watched Pacific in Seattle and was finishing some notes, and I was awake when I saw it. Your phone goes from 1:59 a.m.
3
to I was like, oh.
Yeah, that's a tough one. Kind of like your lives out there. Listening.
I'm just glad I wasn't. I'm just glad I wasn't out partaking.
Understood
in the action because that's when it really catches up. God bless you if you were out Saturday night and you had to get up with kids,
or if you're a person that has the microwave with the clock in the microwave and you're getting ready to hit the hot pocket. As we discussed, I think it's done. I'll try it. It's not done. Fuck it. I'll eat it anyway. Delicious. All right. Have a great week. Attack this week with an enthusiasm unknown to mankind. Enjoy conference championship week. Enjoy free agency. We'll see what news comes out.
Oh, it's just going to keep like
Isaiah likely to the Giants.
No way.
Interesting. I thought they liked their tight end group already. As we said, Willis already to the Dolphins. Beg your pardon. Kenneth Walker to the Chiefs. Pick him up. Again, you can check out the Pat McAfee show with Schrager. Orlovsky is with them.
Dano and Schrags
in the building. Shefty tweets. They're going balls to the wall in Indy. Red wants to get back out of here. It's time to go.
Sunny out.
Have a great week. Be well. Thanks for listening. It's SVPod.
Thank you.